Hello, this is Professor Kitch, and this is our third webcast on automatic tools in Microsoft Word that'll save you time. In this webcast, we're going to talk about how to automatically number figures and tables and how to insert references to figures and tables within your text. This is going to really save you time on papers that have lots of figures and tables. So let's go back to our document which we've been working on, the one we just finished putting the automatic table of contents in, and let's take a look at the figures and tables we have. So here in the document on page 1 we have a figure here. It's the surface water around San Angelo, and then if we scroll up above that, we'll see that figure 1, there's a reference to it here in the text. So when we're talking about this figure, we've got a reference in the text to this figure, which is as it should be. And we scroll down to the next page, and then we have a table here, and this table also is referred to in the document. In fact, you see at the top of this paragraph it refers to both table 1 and figure 2. And then here's that figure 2 that's referred to there. So in this document we have tables and figures which are not only labeled in the document, but they're also referred to within the text. And in each case where these labels are put on, these are just numbers that are typed in there. So if that wasn't figure 1, it could be figure 2, or it could be figure 3. I've just typed that number figure 1 in there. And that's fine the first time we do this, but if you think about this, if you have a lot of figures, lots of times you move figures around, they go in different places, or maybe you need to insert another figure. So let's say that right after this paragraph, I'd like to insert another figure demonstrating the problems that West Texas has had with droughts. So I want to put that figure right in between these two paragraphs. I'll make a space for it, and then I'll come up here to Insert, Pictures, and I've already navigated out here to the place where I've saved this particular picture. There's a picture I want to put in, and now I need to put a caption on that. So this is going to be figure 1, Texas crops damaged by drought. I took that picture from the Texas Observer, so I want to be sure to cite them. And so that's good. I put that picture in there, and then I need to refer to that up in this paragraph, so I'm just going to say here, see, for example, figure 1. Well, that's nice. I've added this figure, but now I have a problem down here with the next figure because this is also figure 1. And so I could change this to figure 2, and then I could come back up here and find out where that reference to figure 2 is. And I can't remember where I put, oh, here it is right here. Here's figure 2, so I need to change that now to figure 2. And then I need to come down here to this figure 2. I got to change that to figure 3. And then I've got to find out where was that reference to figure 3, and I can't remember where that one is. And I'm scrolling around trying to find that. And you can see this is a problem because every time I put these in, I'm going to have to make sure that I get the references to all the figures straight so that if I add new figures, I can get them in the right places. And so this can be a real problem. So in order to fix that problem, I'm going to show you how to automatically do figure numbering and also table numbering. And to do that, we're going to go back to before this picture was inserted. So I've removed that figure I added, and I'm back to the place we were before I added any figures. And what I want to do before adding any figures is for each of these figures that I've got in the document, rather than just having the caption hard written in here, I'm going to do a style to automate the captions so that when things change, that the captions change with them. So to do that, I'm going to highlight this figure that I'm working with. I'm going to come up here again to the References tab, and I'm going to do this Insert Caption function here. And you can see this caption labels pictures or objects. So I'm going to click Insert Caption, and it gives me right away the caption here that it's going to insert. But it's doing something special here. It's actually creating an automated numbering system with here. But I need to type in here what I want. So I'm going to type in here surface water sources around the city of San Angelo. Texas. I'm going to say OK. And you'll notice it's inserted that caption here right underneath the figure. And so that caption's not exactly the way I wanted it. I want to change the formatting of that. I don't like the italics. I'm going to take the italics away. I want that to be the same size as the rest of the text, so I want that to be 11. And then it has a funny color for the font, so I want to make sure to make that font's black just like before. And now I have a new caption for that figure. So this is the original caption I had, and I noticed that I'm missing my reference here to the source. So I'm going to put that in my caption here. I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to right click and copy. Come up here. Got to put a period in there, and then I'm going to right click and paste. And so now I have my figure caption here, and this is the automated one, so I'm going to delete the other one. So now I have an automatic caption for this figure, and I can tell because when I highlight it, the one itself is actually highlighted in kind of a darker color. But I want to fix my reference to that up earlier, because this is up here where I refer to figure 1. It just says, it's just typed in figure number 1. So what I want to do is put like an automated reference to that. And so I'm going to delete this figure 1. And I'm going to come back up here to the reference tab. I'm going to put in a cross reference. So if you read this, it says a cross reference refers to a specific place in your document. So I'm going to pick a cross reference. And if I look at the kind of things I can do a cross reference to, there's a whole list of things. Well, I want a cross reference to a figure. And if I click on that, you'll notice here that it lists all the figures that I've labeled in there. Now, the only figure that I've put an automatic label on so far is figure 1. So I'm going to highlight that one, and then this asks me what it is I actually want to insert. I don't want to insert the entire caption. I just want to insert the label and the number. So I just want to say figure 1. So I'm going to click on that to insert the figure. And then I'm going to click on the close. And now if you look up where I inserted that automatic figure number, you'll see there's the text figure 1. And this is an automatic figure. Now it's italics right now. I don't want that. So I'm going to come back over here and get rid of the italics. So I've gotten rid of the italics, and now this figure refers to this place down in the document, and if something changes down here, that one will change too. So I'm going to continue to do that, my other figures and my other tables. So I'm going to do the figures first. So I'm going to come down here to figure 2. I'm going to highlight figure 2, go to references, put insert caption. I want to insert figure 2. Its label is going to be figure. I'm going to put it below. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm just going to copy all this text there. Copy to, and I'm just going to paste it right there. Now I have the same problem here that I had before, that I've got to change all this formatting for. But I remembered up here before that I changed that formatting up here. So I'm going to go back to this formatting. I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to pull down the rest of this menu here, and I'm going to see that this is the figure. I'm going to format this as a figure. I'm going to right click and say update figure to match, and that style is now figure. And so when I roll back down to this one, I'm going to highlight on this. I'm going to say change that style to figure, and then it's all going to be formatted just the way I wanted it. So I just used that automated feature of styles to get these exactly formatted the same. Okay, and I'm going to delete the old one. And now again, this is an automated figure, and I can tell because that number there's got a special gray highlight to it. Now I've got to find the place where I refer to that figure in the text. And that's right here. This is figure 2 here. So I'm going to go up there. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to come up here to references, cross-reference, and now it's bringing up figure again, and now I want to end up figure 2, and I only want to put the label and the number. I'm going to say insert figure 2, close, and I got figure 2 in there. Now I want to do the same thing with this table. So I'm going to highlight the table, highlight the whole table. I'm going to come up to insert caption, In this case, I don't want to insert a figure caption, I want to insert a table caption, and table captions always go above. So it's going to insert that one table above. I'm going to click OK. And you see I've got this just table 1. Again, the font's wrong and everything, so I've got to fix that. But first I'm going to enter the rest of this text I wanted, so I'm going to copy all this text out of here. Copy. I'm going to paste it right down in there. And then I'm going to come back up here, highlight this whole paragraph, go home again, come here. I'm looking for the table. I don't see a table style here, so I'm just going to create a new style. The style is going to be called table. I'm going to click OK, and I'm just going to format that the way I want it to be. So I'm going to make the color black. I'm going to make the font 11, and I'm going to get rid of the italics, and now I have the format I want for that. And I'll just, again, right click on table, say update table to match. I'm going to get rid of my manual table label, and again I can tell this is an automatic table label because that number has that extra highlight on it. And then I'm just going to come up here where it says table 1. I'm going to delete that manual one, come back to reference, put a cross-reference. This time I don't want a cross-reference to a figure, I want a cross-reference to a table. And again, I don't want to insert the entire caption, just the label and the number. And I'm going to click insert, and I'm click close. So now I have automated not only my captions for my tables and my figures, but I've also automated the references to them in the document. So if anything changes in my document, both these references to the figures and tables here will change, as well as the labels on them. So now let's go back up here and insert my new figure up here. So I'm going to insert a new figure here. So we're going to go to Insert, Pictures. There's the picture I want to insert. Insert that right there. And now, rather than typing a caption for it, I'm going to highlight the figure. I'm going to go to References. I'm going to insert a caption. This is going to be not a table caption, but a figure caption. I'm going to put it below, and this is going to be figure 1. It knows it's figure 1 right now because it's inserted before the other one. And this is going to be drought effects on crops in Texas. I'm going to click OK. I got to change the style for that again because I want it to have the right style. There we go, figure 1. And that's wrong. That's supposed to be effects, so right click and fix that. And then I'm going to remember to come put my reference there. Source is the Texas Observer. Okay, so I've got figure 1 in here. Now notice if I scroll down here, this figure number has changed. And not only has that figure number changed, but the reference to that figure hasn't changed yet, but it will here in just a second. In order to update it, this is like the table of contents. It doesn't do it automatically. I have to right click on there and I have to update field, and notice that changed to figure 2. And I'm going to put in here C for example. And then I'm not going to type figure 1. I'm going to come back to references, cross-reference. I want a reference to a figure. It's going to say which figure. This is the one, figure 1 drought effects. I don't want the entire caption. I only want the label and the number. Insert that, close, and there's figure 1. And there's a reference to figure 1. This is now figure 2, and notice that the reference to figure 2 is correct. This is table 1. There's figure 3, and notice that the reference to this figure still seems wrong, but if I right click on it and say update field, it's updated to figure 3. And so now I've automatically changed the figures and the table labels so that they automatically refer to the right location, the right place. And this table now is kind of messed up because it goes across a page. So I'm going to right click right in front of this table. And you remember how in the layout we put breaks in. I'm going to go back to the layout. I'm going to put breaks in, but this time I'm not going to put a section break, I'm just going to put a page break in there, and it's just a page break. You see I got a page break, and it forces that table now to be on the next page. And let me show you one other neat thing that's happened since then. Now, you know, I've got changes in my pages since I did this. And so if I come back up to my table of contents at the top, it's probably not quite exactly right anymore. But if I click on that and I tell it to update table and just update the page numbers anyway, again, it's all done that automated. Now these page numbers are all right. And so my automatic table of contents also is automatically updated. So that's how you use figure numbers and table numbers to automatically get things straight in your document and save you time and money. So play around with that and have a good time with it.